We all go a little mad sometimes.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
They're here.
Okay, are you gestating?
So all the leaves are brown and the sky is blue. It's October.
They're not just brown. Make sure your
Some of them are
representation is
green.
correct.
Some of them are green.
They're yellow. They're
Look
orange.
at those
they're
orange
red.
shits over there. It's October, my guy.
They're crispy.
I love that. Oh, what is it? It's like the first step on a crispy leaf of the year. Just like really does that.
Oh, doesn't it?
Or it's
I love
there's
that
no bigger
footfall.
disappointment than standing on a leaf that you think is crispy and
Yeah,
then it
it's
isn't.
not. Yeah.
A flaccid leaf. Jesus Christ.
God, we love a flaccid leaf.
So speaking of flaccid, we met when we were like 5.
What a segue.
Mitch, like, I actually don't know if like y'all know this, but like me and Nathan have known each other for literally like 21 years, 20 years.
Yeah, I'd say at least 20.
Yeah, for sure.
Bet and Dot Tattler joined at the hip.
Yeah, bitch, we like actually got like all the way back. Triggered. But
you know the dawn of time. You weren't there for that. I was. I got front row seats, bitch. That's how old I am. No, it's 20 years, and it's a fun 20 years.
I was 5. Okay, the relationship was appropriate. It's fine.
It was no, but this is the SLAB.
Yeah, this is our origin story. So
Special episode.
yeah, we also, because this is like the least structured, I'm looking the microphone in the eye. I was under that.
In the eye.
It'll be the most
These
or
are the
the
balls.
least structured like episode that we're gonna have so far.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like pre-planning and stuff.
Yeah.
So
For once,
this
I
also
don't
might-
have any notes.
Yeah, like I have nothing also, so we might kind
Well,
of
you
like
never have anything.
yeah, because I have a brain, Scarecrow. So I would love to do this as a group costume one time.
I am not going as the Cowardly Lion.
You don't know.
That's the only one I
Oh,
pull off
okay.
easier.
If the glove fits, Nathan. I said Scarecrow. Cowardly Lion
The
would be.
Noive.
Oh no. Oi. No, the
We
Cowardly
can both
Lion would be like the most comfortable one.
I know, that's why I take it.
You said you wouldn't be.
Well, I wouldn't, but like if I had to,
Whatever.
I would.
Well, somebody's getting stuck as Tin Man. Somebody's getting painted
Somebody
silver.
gets the shit out of the
Yeah,
stick.
somebody's being painted silver, and somebody's wearing a onesie, and somebody is
Covering
gonna
themselves in
overdose
straw.
on barbiturates. I
On
can
the
say that
poppies.
I'm a friend of Dorothy, but
Ah!
I love that though. That it's like when I was younger, I never got that. That was like a
a gay reference.
get out of the heroin thing. No, because she's lying in a field
Oh,
of poppies.
sorry, I thought you were talking about the.
Well, also, yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I think that's like I don't know, like the cutest way to say like
Are you gay?
yeah, friend of
Are you a
Dorothy.
friend of Dorothy's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all
No,
those dudes
yeah, I-
literally were skipping with Judy Garland down the Yellow Brick Road, which I
Yeah.
think is literally the gayest thing you can do. Besides have like
And
an
also,
AIDS
yeah, come
cocktail
to
or
think about it,
something.
I'd never thought of like the poppies, and then of course, opium. Yeah, like that never occurred to me.
Because it's like you watch it when you're like a kid and you never like deep that shit.
I
It's
just
actually
thought
only
it was
when-
like a spell that the witch had put over the poppies.
So did I. I never like
Poppies.
in my mind. I never was
Poppies
like, oh
will
yeah,
make her
poppies are how you
sleep.
make heroin
Yeah.
or whatever, you know. But I think it was actually RuPaul that like pointed it out on his podcast like a couple of years ago when I was listening to it, and he was like, her friends are like, no, you gotta get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like you're being lazy, you're being complacent. Like get up and like go and do it, you know.
Well, speaking of being lazy and complacent,
We met when we were like 5.
Okay, sorry, just to reiterate, this is the SLAB. We probe,
Uh-huh.
postulate, and prod a topic of your choice. However, this month it's our choice because it is.
It's Samhain.
Well, I was
Bitch.
going to say it's our
Our
anniversary.
Yeah, but our first episode was Halloween. The original Halloween.
Yeah.
It's our first anniversary for recording.
Yeah. we're doing it special. We're doing it service. We're doing a good thing.
So,
So we were like,
damn,
eight.
motherfucking, so like, I think that like, it actually is kind of like, it's almost tacky how like, much I fucking hate you. No, for real, it's like horror, like genuinely is like the pinpoint, like at the focus, like I think why we became friends, because we've also had like a lot of different shared friend groups and shit like that, but like you and Ryan are the ones I've known the longest. You know, I've known you guys as long as I've known Yemi, and I would have considered her my oldest friend. You know, oldest in terms of longest. Okay, bitch, don't get it twisted.
Not in terms of age.
She's younger than me. But yeah, and I'm kind of happy that it was like trash that started it off too. Yeah, like it wasn't like it wasn't like a you know, a fucking playground corner discussion of like Suspiria or something like that. No, it was Jason fucking X, and not just Jason X, a novelization, one of 4 novelizations of Jason X. Somebody's headcanon for the Jason X like franchise.
This I do remember this vaguely now. I mean, like, my memory stretches back to the dawn of creation. But I do remember this vaguely because I remember going into, and this was always like, it was always, I remember whenever walking, because this the books that we would read, me and my twin Ryan, which we will have on the podcast sometime soon. Not making any promises, but Ryan, get your ass onto the podcast, please.
Maybe for our Malignant episode.
You know? Yeah. So one who is even older than I am. So yeah, when we
think it was possible.
Okay, you get one
we
more
got
age.
One!
You get one more age joke, and then that's it.
Old busters, what do you want? Okay, sorry.
So we would, me and my twin, like, this is how fucking nerdy we were. We would go to the fantasy section first, then the video/DVD section for any, like, new
in the YA
movies.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we would immediately go over to the adult horror section. And we would find things like, there was a novelization of Freddy vs. Jason. There was a novelization of...
they had all the Alien vs. Predator omnibuses for all those graphic novels and shit.
They had... the novelization of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then they had Jason X.
Yeah. I remember, like, so vividly, like, again, this is, like, the library, like, where we used to, like, whatever. And
it's just so random that you would find... these little books that were like
they're
this
they're
big,
tiny.
like
they're literally
size.
like the size of like almost a cigarette box. Like they're actually like tiny.
They're tiny.
But I remember so vividly like seeing one. I remember being like, oh my god, there's other freaks at this school. Yeah. Because like at this point, like I for sure was allowed to watch horror. I know you guys obviously were as well. It's like you were allowed to. Like,
yeah, my mom didn't give a shit.
But for some reason, we were only just discussing before we started recording that like I was allowed to watch pretty much everything except for very specific things. Or it's like, okay, there must be like pussies or something in this movie. Like, why can't I watch it? Because it was never dicks. They didn't start showing dicks in movies until like last year.
Well, I mean, like it clearly turned you gay.
Yeah, for real. If I had just been able to see Shannon Elizabeth's tits like one more time, if they had just gotten her fucking like butthole out in 13 Goats, I would have been a whole different person. An asshole different person. But,
no, it's totally true because we've said this before when I had my mum on the guest spotting on the Exorcist episode. We should.
Your mum was such a good guest.
Oh, hilarious! And basically, what happened was, my mum was the exact same. Yeah, I'd be allowed to watch certain horror movies, but other horror movies
like violence, but not sex.
So yes, right.
I can show my kid violence because it's on the news, but not porn because that's weird. Which I guess I get that logic. You know,
it was just so strange that there was a clear divide between nudity and then just horror movie violence. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Or was it the like? Because like I don't know, like. Boobs and stuff like that never bothered me. That never was like a thing that was like, oh no, you can't see boobs because boobs are like boobs are boobs. Like, it's art. But I think my mom kind of maybe didn't
drew
want
a line in the sand.
Yeah, I think she maybe didn't want the like correlation between like sex and violence, together, or like sex and horror together for some reason. But like as a kid, you like watching movies, you kind of you pick up on the rules. Yeah, you know, it's. I'm just gonna bring it to a Scream or whatever. But it's like you see that movie and it's like they're
stay out of it, bitch.
No, but it's like they're kind of those are just like the moral rules that kind of ruled horror at the time.
Yes,
like which I actually think we've like really moved away from.
Yeah,
like sex, drugs, and saying I'll be right back. None of those things necessarily correlate to death now in movies.
Yes,
you know,
true.
that thing has kind of changed. Horror is kind of going through.
But
like
we
a
also
huge
grew
renaissance.
through. We grew up through the early 2000s, meaning that all those kind of things just correlated normally.
Like the
horror.
70s, 80s, 60s, and 90s, they were all like there for us already. Just all the way up. We had to just walk 5 minutes up to Glen Easton and go to like an Extravision bitch.
Of course. So like we had to go to. This is now you young things nowadays wouldn't even know what a video store or a DVD store
Going
is.
to the video shop,
my
actually
God.
renting like an actual VHS, like a tape, you know.
And that you had
It
to
was
sometimes
Friday.
wind back because some
with pencil.
asshole previously
Yeah.
didn't fucking wind the tape back.
Yeah, you gotta put it in and press all the way, like rewind.
Be
or whatever,
kind,
like
rewind,
that.
okay?
For real though. Also, like shout out Megan and Farhad, who used to work in Extravision. I spent way too much time in that in that store.
Yeah.
But it was just like that was where I like had access to like other video freaks, you know.
Yeah. It was like when walking in, you just, and I loved the way the store like kept regularly changing its layout.
Oh, it used to always
was
piss
so
me
great.
off though.
Because it was like you'd hunt down like the films that you'd always go to on a Saturday night or a Friday night. Like you will never know, you young things will never know that feeling of going into a store. Well, I suppose you probably do, considering like the game stores are still around, but DVD stores.
I don't
or
even
rental
know.
Stores.
I don't think people go in and just like peruse. Like back in the day, it was like you would base it off the cover and the little blurb on the back, you know, and you got like 2 movies.
And there was always 2 televisions on showing like something like the latest movie or something, and they'd both be playing different movies.
Yeah, or be like little sets of like trailers and stuff like that. But like because I don't know, at least this was like kind of like the like kind of video shop you'd see in a movie where the people running it were also movie nerds. Mm-hmm. So like you could sit there and just chat shit with them.
It's like an SNL skit.
For real though, and it's like just picture like insert classic video store here. Yeah. You know? And it's how like it's like places like this
and
that I like
it's a coffee shop.
It's a coffee shop, which like makes me kind of depressed. But like
because I could literally pinpoint an area where like I'd find like Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You walk in, it's like towards the back, like left.
Yeah.
But for real, it's like how I found out like who Rob Zombie was. And what like House of a Thousand Corpses
and
like
I'd
The Devil's Rejects
that film
and stuff.
Until like years later, but I always looked at the cover and I was like, what is this movie? I need to fucking watch it, because the back had like all the promotional images and the blurb, and I was like, and
that cover
never let me see
Captain Spaulding on the front. And I remember in my mind I never, because again like I almost was too young to even have like internet access to like look this shit up, was like I never correlated certain movies with other movies unless it was like for me to know that The Devil's Rejects was a sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses, it would have had to have been called House of a Thousand Corpses 2, The Devil's Rejects. You know? Yeah. But I used to just love that shit, you know? It's like, even if I knew I couldn't like have this, like just to be able to see the imagery and kind of like, okay,
letting your brain.
I'll get to that one later. Like I'll figure that one out later. And then of course there's the thing of your mom being like, okay, but not that one, and you're like, it's gonna be that one. I'm gonna watch that one. You know, there was like certain ones where like I was allowed to watch House of a Thousand Corpses, but not The Devil's Rejects. Yes, because The Devil's Rejects is like brutal. It's so much worse. It's like straight up like rape, like on camera. Yeah. And then I was allowed to watch The Texas Chainsaw, but not The Texas Chainsaw 2. Yeah. Which to me was so like, most of my mom's logic when it came to horror was good. It was usually like, if I've seen it, you can probably watch it. Yeah. But like, my mom never let me watch The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watched that much later. If you had watched the first one as a kid, you probably would have hated it. No, I never seen any of it. I never seen any of it until if you had watched Tobe Hooper's original. Oh, I suppose, yeah. It would have been probably boring. Yeah, you know. Although, like when 2003 one came out, I remember being like, staunch, like, no, don't watch that. I think that's like top 3 horror remakes of all time. Yeah, I like it. It's really, really good. And it's by, who's the director again? You know.
Oh god. He's the guy who does Transformers.
Oh, Michael Bay. It's
Michael Bay, yeah.
It's Platinum Dunes.
And it's very much like...
Well, it was the first one that kind of kicked off all the horror remakes again.
You could reference, like, because up until that point, Michael Bay had only been doing music videos, and, like, you could see, like, his, like, noir style in that film.
I don't think there's any explosions. Which
well,
is
no,
kind of like
no explosions.
That's what I like associate Michael Bay with. It's just like
random explosions.
Yeah, cars that tap off each other explode. No, I actually would really, really love to cover that on the podcast one day because that's one of my favorite horror
random
movies.
Explosions.
Yeah.
Just a whole slab topic about random explosions.
No, actually, I think we should do like a Platinum Dunes episode, which kind of covers a lot of the early 2000s horror movies. Covers Texas Chainsaw, the Friday the 13th remake, which I also really liked, but it's also not hard to like get me to dislike a fucking or a Friday the 13th movie. Can we just like spoil our opinions on them a little bit? I think they're boring. I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. A lot of people hate that movie, but I do like that movie, and I just don't like the remakes of Nightmare on Elm Street and yeah, those suck. Those don't need to be remade. Friday the 13th, it's just fucking awful. It's terrible. I think that if they had called it Texas Chainsaw like 6, people would have been like, "Oh hell yeah," because it's not a remake. I think because it was a remake, people immediately kind of like fuck you about it, you know. True. I think kind of like the other like big one that came before that would have been like Psycho, which would have been like
of
which
course.
I
actually
forgot also
about that.
Really like.
Yeah, I like that one.
You know, people like Alfred Hitchcock himself had remade a bunch of his movies just with slightly updated tech. You know, it's like I don't think remakes should be like a. I don't think a remake should like be synonymous with like bad movie. Yeah, I think like you should purely base a remake off of its own merits rather than off of the film it's trying to be. Yeah. And I also think certain like people should just be allowed to just do a straight up remake now. You know, you don't always have to connect it to the original, which to me makes it kind of messy do what sometimes. Suspiria did and reimagine it. Exactly. Oh my god! So Suspiria is like it's almost hard for me to kind of consider a remake. Origin story. It's almost hard for me to consider a remake because it's almost like they took the idea and ran with it. Yeah, as if somebody just said like Witches Dance Academy crazy thing at the end. Period piece. You know, it just those little prompts and just took it and ran with it. Like that was stunning. That was a really, really excellent movie. Yeah. This is also another prime example of like when we went to see that film, like we were so fucking tight, like sitting there, like so looking puckered assholes, looking at like all of these people, like we're so like immersed in horror that like the worst shit the blood all over me just literally sit back and dump the Carrie blood all over me. Like it just doesn't faze us anymore. But that's the point so now is looking for it is like what is gonna make me go I can't watch this. I don't want to watch this anymore. And I think it's on one hand, French cinema. Yeah, you really didn't enjoy Raw. I really do not like that movie. I know it's a great movie. Let me be clear. It's a great movie. I just really don't like meat. But you didn't get up and walk out. No, like, I watched it. Yeah, I wasn't a pussy. So that's the thing. I enjoy that. I enjoy that like. It smells like fish. Tampon popsicle. But I really enjoy that mentality though of like, oh, I don't like this, but I gotta watch it. Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't understand people who are like, yeah, but I'm not gonna be comfortable watching it. It's like, it's not a comfort movie. Yeah, you know what I mean. Next week I'm going to go see the French film Revenge. With one of my friends, Bobby Moynihan. No, it's not Moynihan. It's just Bobby. And he will be on the podcast soon. He's guest spotting soon, which is pretty awesome. No fucking way. Yeah, fucking way. And I know that film is about a rape revenge story, and it's meant to be super, super brutal. But, like, I'm not going to walk out of the fucking cinema. I'm not going to be a pussy. I'm going to fucking watch it and be amazing. I want to review this. Titan? Same chick who made Raw. Nice. It's her follow-up. I like it. Also, kind of from what I gather, possibly rape revenge I Spit on Your Grave kind of thing. Not sure. Have no spoilers for it. I just saw a trailer for it a couple of months ago.
Nice.
But I really, really liked her. I really, really liked her kind of like use of color and shit like that, you know.
Or lack thereof.
Well, no, there was like those club scenes and stuff like that, and the blood was the right color.
Yeah.
You know, I hate when blood is like, unless you're gonna make it like super stylized and Dario Argento, where it's like literally like carrot orange paint on the floor. If you're gonna get stabbed in the stomach, blood is gonna be dark. It's gonna be almost black. Yeah. You know, and when blood dries, it has that like orangey, rusty kind of stain to it. It's not red. You know, blood is not the color of red lipstick.
Anyway, Tangent St. James, La Marie Dupree, Delacroix, Saint Laurent, Calvin Klein.
It's our episode.
The other thing I...
and another thing.
The other thing I don't vaguely remember, I vividly remember it. Sorry, 2 V's. V's.
2 V's.
I vividly remember is your Chucky doll.
Oh, I have it inside.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like our mascot now at this point. This doll, I remember, and I think I said this before on the podcast, but I'll never forgive myself for doing it, is I kind of fobbed you off when you...
and I pull out a
and
knife.
This is like separate to the timeline. So like, we had grown up together.
Skip ahead maybe like 14 years. 14?
No, because primary school was when we were...
Skip ahead probably 10 years.
No, less.
Because I was probably 12. Second year?
Yeah, second year.
Because you were a senior by then.
Second year.
I know, I might have gotten that, like, going from 6th class into first year, because you would have been
I think I was third year or 5th year? No, third year. I would have been a third year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you were... I remember, like, even where your fucking, like, social area was. It was, like, by the hall and stuff. Yeah, okay.
That third year, yes, third year, because I was right outside Mr. Leamy's area.
Mr. Leamy.
I respect that, man.
So would have been my type now. Big hairy arms, big comb mustache.
So fast forward the timeline to you wearing... us going from a red jumper to green jumpers, and you having a full coiffed hair, and me having hair as well.
It was also dyed black.
Yeah,
or dyed black or very, very, very dark purple.
It was dyed black, but people called me Jaffa Cake.
It was like raven black, so there was like blue tint to it.
It was like it was because I have.
Your roots were coming through.
My roots are coming through, and it looks like if you'd cracked the top of a Jaffa cake.
You could see it like marmalade on the inside. Oh my god.
I remember you vividly. I vividly remember this coming up to me.
I had it with me, didn't I?
It was like, I think you did. Yeah. I think it was either I was with Ryan or I was with
no, you were with
friends.
You were with like a bunch of other friends, which is why I kind of understood why I didn't take it as like a fuck me, I guess. Because you were like, what, like 15, 16 or something.
When I was that age,
was like
I was totally
13.
concerned with like image and
everybody was
cool
concerned about being cool.
Like, although having said that juxtaposed to 5th year, I was like, I couldn't give a flying fuck what anyone thinks of me.
But it's like the same reason why I wore my fucking like Monster Ball shirt under my uniform.
Yes!
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm gonna be lame, but like only I'll know. You know, it'll be just for me. I say in the bathroom mirror, it'll be just our secret. Shh. Yeah, and I kiss the mirror and walk away.
Like Calvin Klein. That's gonna be a thing now.
Oh, what was it? Remember her fucking perfume was gonna smell like blood or cunt or cum. Oh, I missed that.
You had come up to me, and you said something along the lines of, Nathan, I got the Chucky doll or something like that. And I sort of fobbed you off, being like, "Oh yeah, great," like side-eyeing you the whole time.
I think you think it was so much like crueler than it was.
I know,
I
but
think
like
you're thinking of it as like
guilt.
I get
kind
that.
Of pushing it, you know.
But I think you're thinking of it as being like, ugh, look at this little freak, get out of here. Like, I think you think that you like turned your back on me or some shit like that. But like, if I don't know, if it had been like you or Ryan or something like that, it like probably wouldn't have happened. Or if it had been like you and Gemma or some shit like that. But it's like, I don't think 14-year-olds have a choice but to like, oh shit, is somebody going to think I'm lame? You know what I mean? Like, you don't really like have choice over that, you know?
And I do, like, you just sort of walked away. Well, not really like that.
I walk away.
You did just sort of like,
we're gonna plan this out. We're gonna figure this fucking out.
You start sticking pins and needles into it.
I wait for you to like walk home from it's the Michael
me.
Myers fucking bully scene.
Done.
Yeah,
done. It was so cruel, in my opinion. And it was because, like I remember thinking to myself, oh, that's so fucking cool. Like, he has the literal fucking, doll that wanted to murder a child and take over his body. And I remember that so vividly. And I think the years later, I just kind of make it sound more cruel than it... it was. Like, in a sense, it was cruel. It wasn't fair for me to do that because... I don't
think it was cruel. I think it was just, like, stupid teenage shit.
Yeah.
I never, like... I think when you told me that, I don't even think I, like, remembered it.
Oh, no, I'll never forget it. And I won't forgive myself for doing that because that was so cruel. It was so cruel. And, yeah, I don't think you talked to me for quite a while.
But also, again, I think that was just, like... like, I don't know if anybody isn't from Ireland or whatever like that. First year is just like it's like high school. It's like your first
transitioning. Oh, but it is. Are we coming out, Lee?
Coming out, already got the tits. But,
the estrogen level is higher, shall we say?
So I got a pussy on my back. That would be so cool though, some Baphomet shit.
A blowhole.
It's just...
literally. Walrus.
Could you just have like a tracheotomy, but like just a couple of degrees like left of the spinal cord?
Oh my god.
You could have a blowhole, a dolphinoplasty.
Dolphinoplasty.
Yeah. Excuse me, do you have a saltwater tank for me? I can't shit in this place unless there's a saltwater tank. It's discrimination.
Wow, we went from a Chucky doll to getting a vagina on your back.
Yeah, Chucky's got a non-binary kid. Apparently they talk about that in the new show.
Yeah.
I saw a thing. I actually still haven't watched it yet, but I really want to because, like, Chucky was always one that I was really, really interested in as a kid. Obviously. But apparently there's a thing, like the kid that like has him there or whatever like that. It's like, oh, you have like a queer kid or whatever like that, and he's like, yeah, he's non-binary or whatever. And then he's like, oh, and you're like okay with that, and he's like, I'm a murderer, I'm not a fucking monster. I love that though. It's like Chucky's got like a little queer kid.
Ah, cute, love it.
But yeah, so then kind of like skip again like another couple of years after that.
Decades.
Well, it's like probably like because you finished.
I'd say like from about 5th year onwards, I became that person who just didn't give a single fuck what anyone else thought of me.
Yeah,
and by this time, like I think by 5th year we had just kind of like by the end of 5th year, 6th year was the one where we me, started to, like, hang Ryan. Gemma, Saoirse,
we like walk home.
Yeah, me, all of them. We all sort of like gravitated together, and we just sort of super glued ourselves together, and that was it.
Exactly, it was that thing where it was kind of like, well, we all already kind of know each other, and we all already like hang out, kind of extracurricularly anyway. Like, let's just like chill. And then it was like we would walk home because we all kind of lived in like Gemma lived in my estate.
Oh, literally,
and
like the estate opposite each other.
Yeah. And then kind of skip, I think like once we both finished school and we're out, then we actually all started to like hang out. Just kind of like outside of school or whatever. Cause like, I don't know, Friends was like the last thing on my mind. Let's go. I wanted to die. But
oh my god.
But yeah, then kind of skip a couple of years ahead, probably like 5 years ago or something like that, we started to like actually kind of hang out like really like
tight knit,
like consistently. Like you would have been like in my like main friend group or whatever, and every time we hung out, we kind of just talked about horror exclusively, which is what we did anyway. Like even like when Ryan was in, that was always kind of the dynamic was some horror shit or some horror adjacent shit, and then
not that it was solely horror. I mean, like, of course, we chat shit, like, we, you know, we...
Oh, yeah, you know,
typical,
we talk about other
like,
things.
catch-up things.
Yeah.
But, like, somehow the conversation would always steer directly into horror. And that was kind of the impetus for this.
For Theyre Here, yeah.
For Theyre Here, yeah.
And it's weird. I like having all these like weird like grandiose dreams of being like 10 years from now this is like blown the fuck up, like it's huge, we're the next Elvira, we're horror hosts on TV. You know, and then I'm like, oh, it all started right over there in the bridge house.
Oh, literally like what, 3 minutes?
Hi, do you have any fry sauce? Bitch, did I stutter? I asked for the sauce you fried the chicken in. Bitch, go get my fucking meal. Throw it off the table. Stop
it. You are talking about blowing shit out of proportion.
I can do it. You fobbed me off. In front of everybody too.
In front of everybody, yeah. No, like we would regularly meet up all the time. And when I say all the time, I mean fucking all the time. Yeah. And this is like what? It's a year ago, so we would have been in lockdown at the time. Breaking COVID guidelines.
And we had kind of whatever. We had like our remember Bubbles? Yeah. You could just pick like a couple of people to like be like kind of like hanging around or whatever. Yeah. And we had kind of brought up the idea of like maybe doing a podcast.
Actually, first of all, we didn't bring up the idea of the podcast. We chatted shit for like 6 hours about you going on an Irish version of Drag Race.
Oh, stop! Stop! Oh god, okay.
That's how...
That stops there.
Yeah. And then we started talking about podcasts and like, well, not necessarily podcasts. I think we wanted to do like a vidcast kind of shit
it's
first.
Some kind of like a... Like, let's get this like down. Because you know what, actually what I think it is, like at least for me, where I was kind of like, oh shit, this might like be something, was picture like the slaughtered lamb from American Werewolf. Every time we go into that pub, that's what it feels like. It feels like, because I live out in the countryside where you're from.
You're the only gay in the village.
Literally, I'm like the only gay in the village. There could be more, but they hide it well. Which to me is just like boring. Just like be gay and let me know, because I'm bored.
And also no one cares.
I guess. Well, yeah, it's like out here, it's like they don't treat you like, oh my god,
you're
freak.
Not
it's just like,
citizen.
oh shit, like what are you? But like not in like a shitty
it's
way.
It's a
like,
curiosity way.
Yeah, like I enjoy that. But hetero curious though, not bi curious or anything like that. Very, very that way. But like I love that energy of like us two walking in. You've got like a t-shirt of a girl getting her like ass eaten by a skeleton.
Yeah.
You know, I've got like some Manson t-shirt or some shit like that on, just walking into this like little
you
family
got your pinhead shirt on.
For real. And then just hearing literally like the like ooh, like the record scratch.
And everyone like the creaking of a door as everyone cranes.
I never miss. You know, your man with the darts and shit. What's the pentagram for on the wall over there?
Don't stay off the moors.
You can't let them go. But,
you might find a gay werewolf out there. Ravage you.
Fucking wish. How do you tell a werewolf is gay though?
Aru.
He's got... Because he's outside the George. But no, I remember like there was a couple of times, and like also like when I'm with my friends, I feel like all of our friend group is very unabashed. Like there's no like people are around.
Yes.
Like I'm like, no, I'm like out in public, I'm gonna like speak about whatever I want to speak about, you know. I feel like if I'm like on the bus like with my phone, I feel like I'm almost more,
you're that person.
La la la. Yeah, I'm very that, you know. Or like you get in the back of a taxi and it just happens to be like the most scandalous conversation you've ever had in your whole life, you know. But I loved the idea of us going in and just like you know, Christian very definitely treated her like shit. He totally deserved to be burnt alive. Like just talking about like shit like that, and then having like kind of just looking around and noticing that people are like noticing what you're saying and being like, oh my god, you know. But I remember kind of we both were just kind of like, we should just record this.
Yes. Because,
like, we're just kind of spewing content out anyway. You know, I think it was right when, like, Midsummer came out where we were kind of like, okay, we've talked about this movie a lot.
Was it not Hereditary?
Oh, yeah.
Because we were just, like, gushing all over that film. And like we were talking about how the fact that horror.
I actually think it was because we didn't go see that together.
Yes,
it was like right after that when we started kind of like consistently like watching movies and discussing them and stuff like that. And there's a kind of a certain couple of movies that I feel like are like in our kind of lexicon that I like associate with our friendship. Like I associate like kind of like that first wave of A24 horror. Yeah, you know, like The Witch and Hereditary and shit. But I also like do stuff like Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah. For some reason, we watched Freddy vs. Jason like a couple of times together.
Hundreds of times.
It's
Love
just
it.
Like
it's that
like
weird
go-to,
nostalgia. Throw that DVD on.
Yeah, and it's like kind of like right around from that era. Kind of like again, I was allowed to watch Freddy vs. Jason, but not Jason X. You know, like what the fuck? Yeah, but I don't know.
I think like when it comes to like our podcasts and things like that, we were very much like doing it because we were like, let's do it for ourselves.
Yeah,
first.
If it takes off, then great. But like, otherwise, it's nice to like block off like a 2-3 hour section in the week to just hang out and talk about stupid horror shit, you know?
It's great fun.
And we were actually at a party the other night, and like I knew kind of some of our friends listened or whatever like that, or like I knew like they kind of streamed, because I actually didn't expect like a lot of our people kind of, because we're like the horror people like in our group.
Of the group of weirdos, we're the weirdos.
Yeah, we're the
horror
horror freaks.
Weirdos.
We're the bloody guts freaks. Everybody else is just like a like whatever. But and like it's always been that way, which I like really kind of enjoy. But we had one of our friends come up and be like, "So I like listen to the podcast every week," and I remember just kind of being like, "Oh my god, shit!" You know,
it was like a like they said that
it's very encouraging.
Yeah, it was very encouraging, and like they did say that they like when they get high or if they're feeling anxious or something like that, when they throw our voices on,
it's just like they chill out,
and they feel better and they fall. She said they said that they fall asleep to the sound of our voices, and like that's literally me. Like sometimes I cannot fall asleep until like I'm hearing something.
That's what it is. It's that
brain.
Like kind of like it's the. Oh, it's weird because you feel like you kind of like fade into the background because you're like you're there for conversation, but you're not like an active part in it. So you can kind of just like, you know. I think it's like a weird childhood thing of being like kind of lulled to sleep by like your mom talking to friends while you're in a car or in the pram or something like that. It's that weird kind of.
My mom used to read a Harry Potter books.
Oh yeah, it's that classic thing of being read a story before you go to bed.
Fall asleep,
that's totally what it is.
Yeah.
But like to hear that, like I don't know, because I always thought like, oh, like our friends wouldn't be interested in that conversation just because like that's never been our dynamic. Like I would never sit down with like, I don't know, insert rando friend here and just be like, oh, let me talk to you about fucking Midsommar for like an hour or whatever. But like no, it's like it's really like I remember we both kind of had a like, oh shit, like had like that kind of little moment, and even like in the middle of a party we're like, okay,
business meeting.
Both like a little drunk, both a little tipsy and shit like that, and like just decided to talk business, and I was like,
that's how we roll.
A podcast together. But for real, and this like whole thing has made me feel like the pandemic like was not a waste of time.
No,
because I remember kind of thinking like, fuck, I did nothing with my life for a whole year, and then I was like, wait, that's literally a lie. We made like all this content, you know.
We have nearly 60 episodes.
Yeah, for real.
It's amazing. We are.
What should we do for like the 100th or something like that?
100 greatest scariest moments.
Hell fucking yes.
Yes.
But again, that's also kind of like, even that is another thing I associate, because you were the only person I knew that like not only knew what like the Bravo one was, but the Channel 4 one hosted by Jimmy Carr. Oh,
that's another like defining thing is all the Halloweens we've spent together and all of like the little connections that we can draw parallels through and like defining moments like the 100 greatest scariest moments and like Halloweens where we would cross paths and we'd be like literally sitting next to this bonfire and being like, let's
once
get
again
fucked
it's
up.
just like I feel like a lot of people kind of might feel like that way, but like our group is very like, it's like there's group and then there's like extended group and then there's like extended family where like our group could be like 100 people strong, you know, and then there's always the kind of, I don't know, like the leak slip crew, like all the ones that kind of like grew up together, like kind of centrally, like I love that, like that always like comes back together again. That was another thing we were talking about in the party the other night, you know.
We could be apart for a year in quarantine, and yet when we come together it's like, bitch, we're having a good time. You're 5 minutes, you know, it's like 5 minutes.
Literally, like not last night, the night before, like the night of the party was the first time I had actually seen a bunch of those people in probably like 2 years or something like that. But there was no like need for like a catch up.
Who's got a fucking mask in here?
Oh God, Emma didn't believe me when I was like, I was in a fucking taxi.
Insert audible eye roll.
Why don't you eat the pinkest part of my asshole? I couldn't have gotten here if I didn't wear this, lady. Also, it's October. You're supposed to wear masks.
True.
But
yeah. But I also think like our friend group, like I will never refute this. We were the fucking weirdos. You know.
Yeah.
We are the freaks of the freaks.
We are weed, mister.
Like I always equate that to the epiphany of that moment. We are the weirdos, mister, because
it's
we
so
are
true. And it's like, I know it sounds tacky, but it's like, it's so true.
Like we could walk into, like, we always say, it's like, imagine the Met Gala and like it's a horror theme. We'd still walk in there like a bunch of pissed off New Yorkers and just be like, roll our eyes
like,
at this.
I'm picturing like if they actually have like an explicit horror theme, it's like Dario Argento's Demons, where they're like stepping up the stairs, like super backlit with that blue, with the like white, like the glowing yellow eyes. It's like that moment. It's like horror, but like punk as fuck, you know. But yeah, I think our group really just weeded out all the like. It wasn't like find the normies. It wasn't like find the weirdos. It was weed out the normies. You know? I'll take whatever's left. I'll take whatever's like after. Like I know what I don't want.
That's so true. That's so true. Like
it's the porn thing. I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it. Yeah. You know, like oh, I want to be friends with that person.
It's so true because like over the years, not that people have fallen out or anything, that they just sort of faded away.
Some have blocked all of us and moved to Belfast.
But like it's so true. Like if you like, I always talk about like the fact that some of the people that I'm very much against being friends with for the rest of my life, still I'd still like absolutely wish them the best and all that kind of thing. But I'd look at them and go like,
I don't need that.
I don't need that. And if they truly did want to be friends, they'd still be my friends. Like it's the same with you. Like you still wanted to be my friend, and you know, 20 fucking years later, we're still here.
I'm only friends with you because you have a microphone.
But it's true,
though. For real, it is that thing, and like it actually, to me, like, oh my god, it's about to get so gay up in here. But like, and introducing two men having sex.
If you want two men having sex, go to Emma during that sex exhibition. Fantastic sex exhibition. It was great.
But to me, it feels like a really big honor to be able to say, like, I've had a lot of these friends for 20 fucking years, you know, and it hasn't like gone away or wavered, you know.
Like you aren't just a friend; you're family to me.
Yeah,
you know
that's like literally like what it is.
You and so like 5 other people particularly are.
We're gonna let you 5 guess who you are. We're gonna let you discuss it.
I could literally, like, off of my hand, I could name you immediately, like, who I consider family.
You know the thing, you're supposed to walk into a room where 3 of your friends go, hey, it's my 2 favorite people.
Yeah.
And you don't tell them who it is. They just figure it out, you know.
I always remember that from I think it was The Crown, and one of them said that like, oh yes, my favorite child. And I said that to my mother the other day, and I was like, who's your favourite child? You know what? Strike that, don't answer.
It's like whoever's in the room.
And then I asked her, I was like, but did you think about who immediately it was?
But that's, of course you would. Of course you would, you know? It's like, oh, you. It's like, are you saying that to me because I'm in the room?
Yeah.
Are you saying because I'm the one that asked? You know?
Oh, it's so true. And like, it really is. I think the fact that we are the weirdos. We are the Redford Rejects. You remember that?
Yeah.
We are the left. I when we were younger, when I was in secondary school, I called us the leftovers.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were. We were the rejected people in society. We weren't the norm. We weren't the cool kids.
Yeah.
And we very much it sounds so stereotypical, but in our school,
we were so much cooler.
we were the art freaks too. And
but that's exactly what it was.
We had it sounds so stereotypical with the Mean Girls thing, where you have the jocks, you have the cool kids.
But it was. I loved that because to me, I was like, okay, this is my tribe. This is who I belong to. These are
your chosen family.
Exactly. You know,
we as gay people, we get to choose our family.
But for I always even said that though. It's even if I wasn't gay, I'd still be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, you'd still be the freakiest cunt out there.
Yeah, the fact that I to suck dicks is the least weird thing about me.
Thing. Exactly.
You know? It helps though.
Gets you in the door.
Oh my god, did you know that the George has a quota that they don't let a bunch of they won't just let 50 straight dudes in.
Wow.
Because then it's not a gay bar.
How are they gonna know?
You can tell. I mean, if they're rocking up to the George, maybe you're gonna be like, why do you want to come in here? But yeah.
True. We are the weirdos.
We also, this episode is also about to skew towards should we say it or should we keep it?
I can't tell what you're about to say.
Okay, you can cut it out, deadass.
I can't. Hold on.
My guy, I totally forgot what we were literally just talking about.
Yeah, because we also wanted to have this kind of... we sort of touched on it there.
Speaking of origins.
A couple of times over the last 2-3 episodes, that the whole world is culturally appropriating Irish culture. Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
I was reading this and
thing. They don't even know it. Which is the worst part.
No. The thing is, I was reading this really interesting article about cultural appropriation in costumes and things like that, which is 100% understandable. But then in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, but the whole fucking world is culturally appropriating Ireland and nobody knows it.
That is the kind of weird part. Is I don't think a lot of people know that and it's kind of glaringly obvious by the amount of times I've heard Halloween referred to as Samhain. I literally was watching
Insert
Dragula.
Audible eye roll here.
Did you watch Dragula yet?
I watched the first episode,
and I actually was good. It was good.
I'm very happy.
I really love Dragula, but the little intro at the start was really cool. I always enjoy their kind of little vignettes. But I was
as long as Hollow Eve isn't on the fucking episode.
Oh my god, get out of here! Not you, them. But this little intro that they did, it was kind of a Salem witch trial, but amongst witches
meets a satanic Mask of Satan.
Yeah, and
shit,
a Seven Wonders kind of
thing. Very American Horror Story coven. Yeah,
but they said Samhain, and I was like, oh. I literally paused it, and I was like,
insert audible eye roll by Calvin Klein.
Last week you heard an audible smile. You're gonna hear an audible frown. In a minute. It's just that, but upside down. God damn! I'm just do this much research. Yeah, it's not even it's you don't even have to go through ancient texts.
You type in Halloween on Google, and you will literally find Celtic origin as some of the first words. In case you don't know, let's spell it out for you. Halloween is Irish. It is an Irish tradition. It was started by the pagans. Actually, no, I should share this. The English
Scotland
did also, Scotland, the English, the Norse, people, but mainly Ireland. Ireland is the originator of Samhain. Not Samhain, Samhain. And we would do it because you always hear it. It is the time. It is the celebration of the winter.
The end of harvest.
So the end of the harvest. The collection of everything. Yeah. It is not the fucking pilgrims collecting their goddamn harvests in America and celebrating that fact with fucking pumpkins.
Aren't native to here. Even though that to me is it is the definitive symbol of Halloween.
Yes.
Is a pumpkin.
Yes.
Carved or not carved. I have one on my table right now. I'm doing the slit nose. Just the one from the start of Halloween. Because I'm it's classic, it's jack-o'-lantern, it's very simple, it's very punchy, whatever. But give it back, guy.
Yeah. Well,
that sounds so bitter, but no,
No, it's true. Like, seriously, like, it's kind of that one thing where, like, every year round, it's almost as if the Irish become kind of salty about it, because, like...
We know why Cinco de Mayo is Cinco de Mayo. We know why Christmas is Christmas. Well, most people know why Christmas is Christmas.
We know what Columbus Day is. We know what Paddy's Day is, which, again...
Also, not Irish, because he was not Irish.
French. And we know what what's the thing?
If it wasn't for St. Patrick, people probably would know more about
Christmas
Samhain.
and Halloween for America.
Fall,
the turkey thing.
Thanksgiving.
Which
is literally like the celebration of like the slaughter of like hundreds of thousands of like fucking Native Americans.
So like it's very much that kind of idea where the Irish do sort of become salty about it, because like it is literally stealing our history and our culture. And
look,
like,
I have no problem with people celebrating, but like know your shit even just a little bit. I'm not expecting you to like know how to speak fucking Irish or any shit like that, but it's like just
understand
we all got
the
taught this in
tradition of
school,
what it is,
you know, because like we grew up in a school where we also got taught Irish at the same time as we got taught English,
named after a pup.
I know, which I thought was cool though. I thought that was kind of like low key cool. And there was like that little setup right outside the principal's office, with all the like Catholic shit. I was like, okay, I kind of love.
Someone stole our crucifix from her.
Dyke,
But yeah, it's very much that idea where we look at it and we go, look, listen, the first thing you need to understand is it is a celebration of the end of the summer equinox, the beginning of the darkest part of the year, the time of year where the veil between the land of the living and the land of the dead is at its weakest. Yeah. This is where, and it's also very much inspired... hasn't inspired its tradition in Mexico, where they have El Dia de los Muertos, which essentially is the same thing, where the dead return to the land of the living, and they need to be guided back to their homes.
Like, it's an acknowledgement of, like, a cultural acknowledgement of like the supernatural.
And it's
and we were taught all this in school.
We were.
So it was never like a...
Like, every single symbol of Halloween originates in Irish mythology. Number one is bonfires.
The bonfire.
Bonfires were lit in order to guide the spirits of the dead back home. We all gathered around those fires so we could meet our loved ones when they return to this plane of existence.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a lighthouse kind of a deal.
Yeah, and then the whole idea with dressing up came from is to scare off evil spirits, because not only did ghosts return, but demons and ghouls and monsters did return as well, because they had the opportunity to do so. So we did the same. And when we gave fruit out or nuts or things like this, all of this type of thing, these traditions were done as the same thing as what Mexicans do in during their festival, is to leave out food for the spirits of the dead as an offering. And it became essentially the trick-or-treat thing. Trick-or-treat unfortunately did not originate in Ireland. It was an American ideal that started that.
Oh yeah, that's very Norman Rockwell to me. But like I don't know. I see, that's the thing. I was only listening to Sibling Rivalry, Bob and Monet's podcast, which I fucking love. It's like it's one of the ones I actually listen to consistently, even over Race Chaser now. I don't know why I dropped that, but they were talking about like, oh yeah, no, Halloween is an American thing, and it's just like,
it's not.
But it's not.
It's not that.
Maybe calling it Halloween might be, but like even that is a stretch. It's like nah.
Yeah.
But like we were always kind of taught this, just because like the word in Irish is Samhain. Like that's just what it is, you know, like Ia Sauna, stuff like that. Like you kind of get used to saying those things in school.
Ia Sauna, Ia Hauna.
Oh wow, Nathan.
It's an SH.
Wow.
So the S is silent.
Wow, come for me.
So like, you mentioned it there, Brack.
Oh,
Tell me.
So Brack is like, we kind of talked about this briefly on our Trick or Treat episode, which to me was like, okay, somebody did their research while watching that movie, because Rhonda the retard. She
Rhonda the retard.
She's the one that like has the most kind of insight into like what Halloween actually is.
Yeah,
we have a couple of characters.
Samhain, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Samhain.
No, she says it right.
She does say Samhain. Yes,
she says it correct. But like, there's other characters in that movie that kind of have a vague like, don't disrespect Halloween, but she's like, don't disrespect Halloween, and here's why. You know, and here's like what it means. Here is what this country calls it, and this country calls it, and it was originally called this, you know. But I love that they went into the traditions and shit like that, because like this is gonna sound kind of tacky or whatever. I always felt that like Ireland was kind of magical in a way.
We are.
Like, we're still very old school when it comes to like traditions.
We are
like,
one of the reasons why pagan iconography still exists today.
But for real, I feel like I also feel like people still keep up magic
i.e. a
rituals.
Christmas tree.
Oh, that's kind of Egyptian though.
One, yeah, well, very pagan iconography, but you know, the Irish still.
Well, I suppose they were still keeping up with like paganism back then. But yeah, it's the like. Oh wait, hold on! I totally just lost my train of thought there. Wait, it's like, oh yeah, I feel like people kind of. We'll cut that out. Dead ass. 54 minutes. 54 minutes, 54 seconds. But I feel like a lot of Irish people still kind of keep up with tradition, even not knowing that it's still kind of magic. It's the like throwing salt over your shoulder when you have a little bit left over, or like lighting a candle. You know, leaving a candle on, leaving your candle lit. We're in a house, Nathan. But yeah, I feel like all that stuff is kind of passed down from generation to generation, not necessarily being like, here's some witchy shit that you can do. It's just like, oh, my nanny used to do this, so I keep it up. Or you say a prayer to your saint, whatever. And like, as we kind of know, like a lot of Irish saints and stuff kind of got like globbed in and just kind of, I don't know, incorporated in. But it's like, if you pray to like Saint Bridget and stuff like that, she's a pagan saint. Like, she's recognized that way. She was that way first, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of happened with a lot of countries around the world. Is there like, again, like you mentioned Mexico and stuff like that, where the culture is already there. Somebody, and by somebody I mean the English, or the Spanish, or like
the
just
conquistadors.
Exactly, like one of insert France, Spain, or England,
Portugal,
and
Portugal
kind of just
responsible for the whole slave trade.
And then you just kind of like get what was there, but like slightly adapted, you know, which again to me kind of feels like, just why don't you just fuck off a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, even St. Patrick, it's like, yeah, I'll like celebrate Paddy's Day.
Yeah, fuck off back to France.
Yeah, no, for real, because it's like, I'll celebrate Paddy's Day because, like, to me, it's just like a separate saint from celebration, but like
church from state.
It's good because people don't actually celebrate Paddy's Day the correct way. They just make it Irish Day, which is fine. But like,
which is fine, yeah.
More people probably would know about
Halloween
Halloween if he wasn't a thing.
Yeah, we were literally the only country in the world that can successfully say the entire world celebrates being Irish, even if you're not Irish.
Yeah, Ireland is very, very much so
like,
non-problematic.
none of us celebrate
to the rest of the world
Thanksgiving or Columbus Day or any of that bullshit. None of us celebrate, like, well, not all of us.
Because we've been through the ringer.
Don't celebrate the Chinese New Year or this or that.
Because we've been through the ringer, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, I feel like a lot of countries kind of like they like relate. It again. It's the the colonization thing where it's like, I also feel like a lot of people kind of, at least recently, probably only in the last like 40, 50 years, people kind of consider the Irish people to just be like normal, like white. It's like Irish people weren't always considered white. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a distinction between the two classes. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like we were too pagan or too Irish or foreign or like stupid, whatever it is. You know, it's like we were all kind of like lumped in together. Potato eater. You know, and like, but also I feel like the Irish can kind of, and this is like no shade to anybody, but I feel like it's kind of ingrained into Irish culture to kind of just like, oh sure, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to kind of take things on the chin a little bit, you know? Yeah. Which is why I feel like we don't get the Irish out in droves protesting worldwide Halloween and shit like that. You know? Because, like, people aren't being, like, offensive, but people are just kind of being...
ignorant. That's ignorant.
Ignorant. Like, unwillingly ignorant, you know? Because it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's our culture. It's our culture and it's our history, and a big part of that was suppressed and kind of almost destroyed. Which is the St. Patrick's thing. It's like the snakes that he abolished, quote unquote, abolished from Ireland were pagans. We never had snakes here.
Yeah.
You know, even as a kid, I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's
Yeah,
too
I
cold for there
was
to be
like, why
snakes
the
here.
fuck are snakes in Ireland? That
Why
never
is this
makes sense.
French slave taking my religion away?
Yeah, he drove them into the water, meaning literally
Killing pagans.
killed pagans. Like, it's a really, really... And also, like, again, like, there's another thing that we can be super fucking salty about, is the fact that Catholicism very much abolished literally everything about the Irish identity.
We'll take the
that
parts
is
we like.
paganistic.
Yeah.
And like it was like a Chinese buffet. Take what you want, leave the rest.
When Saint Bridget put her cloak down, God made it grow big, not witchcraft.
Yeah.
But there you go. If you want to celebrate an Irish saint on one of the days of the year, celebrate Saint Bridget and make yourself get yourself some wreaths.
Yeah.
Make yourself a little Saint Bridget's cross.
Yeah.
You know?
I loved it. That was always like the crazy thing about like these traditions. Actually, speaking of a tradition, the pumpkin is also an Irish tradition, but it's not a pumpkin; it's a gourd. And when
gorgeous.
So basically, what happens is his name was Stringy Jack, and because you can tell, I can clearly like looked this up before I came over here.
I have no notes written down.
Stringy Jack was some random Irishman.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, he's in a bar, doesn't want to pay for a drink. So the devil comes along and says, I'll pay for it. And he goes, no. Here's a better idea. Turn yourself into a coin, and I'll pay for you. And, like, I'm not even a word of a lie. This is how it goes. Jack literally picks up that coin and walks out of the pub and leaves the coin, i.e. the devil, next to a silver cross. Christianity, insert, you know, Catholic, you know, imagery here, and leaves the coin there.
I was going to say, yes, the devil.
In a year, you can release yourself, but like Jack does some other witchy bullshit and tricks him again for another year. So when Jack dies, God won't. Literally, it says in the legend that it's like God says he doesn't want such a conniving young man in heaven. So he doesn't allow him in. St. Peter's gates are closed to him. And then the devil, keeping true to his word, saying he wouldn't take his soul to hell, says, well, you can't come into my gaff. You're not allowed. And because we made a fucking deal.
Yeah.
And so what the devil does, he gives Jack an ever lit
an everlasting gobstopper. Chew and it'll never disappear.
A piece of coal that stays lit.
Yeah.
While he wanders the world in between the land of the living and the dead. And basically what he does is, after a while, the coal gets too hot for him to hold. So he sticks it into a carved gourd. And that's where the tale comes from.
I have heard this before.
So, yeah. And of course, Americans, being Americans, don't have many gourds over there, so they just used a pumpkin. And that's where, you know, the pumpkin comes from.
Which I understand. I get, like, they're very much kind of
bigger,
like an apple and a pear.
Yeah.
Like, they're like the same thing, but not really.
Yeah.
You know? But, no, I love that we kind of have stuff like that passed down. And also, like,
apples and oranges?
No, apples and pears. They're very similar, but they're not the same. Or it's like an orange and a lemon. Or like a lemon and a lime.
Stop comparing.
Or like a lime and a satsuma. But,
stop comparing.
Like a grape and a raisin. But no, I love that though. Like a huge part of like Irish history and culture is like oral storytelling. You know, like, and I think there's like this weird. Well, no, that's like a huge part of it is like actual sitting around and hearing stories be told by an older person. You know, because they were told before. Yeah. But like no, it's there's like a weird kind of like bias against histories that aren't written down. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Where people are like, oh well,
The
it can't be
tradition.
real if it's just written down.
Yeah.
You're just making it up.
Yeah.
You didn't put it on paper. But like I've done that a million times, sat down, heard like ghost stories, or there's always some place in some town where you live in Ireland where it's like, oh, that's where the devil lives. You know, it's like the witch's hat in Killiney, or do you remember Old Hill?
Yes.
Like by the church. Remember that little house?
Thing. Yeah, the devil lives in there.
Okay, I don't even know. This is gonna sound so weird and probably like super hick, like small town or whatever. But like, where, like Leixlip, where we're kind of like we're both like from when we were younger or whatever, used to be.
I'm from here.
Huh?
I'm from here.
Oh, you're from literally over there.
Yeah.
Country bumpkin. Country gourd. Sorry. But gorgeous. But
Yes, I am.
Sorry, just like Tony lost my thing. No. Lisa was like the way it's set up. There's a lot of like ebbs and flows in it, where there's a lot of uphill and downhill in kind of random spots. Like, and it's also separated into like 2 factions. It's like the Hillers, who are scum, and the Far Enders, which is where Guinness was invented. But there's like this little area where it kind of like goes from like the village up to like where kind of all these states and stuff are. But it's like this creepy little path / hill that's got like, it's got like 2. There's like one that's just a big ramp, and there's one that are like these huge steps. But like for as long as I can remember, there's just been this little like stone house that looks like a little witch's hut or something. It's literally like smaller than an outhouse, but like I was always
it's bigger than a dog's kennel, put it that way.
Yeah, picture like a big dog's kennel, but like a small shed
made of huge grey bricks.
Yeah, with like a wrought iron fence across the front of it that's got like a sword on the front of it now that's like kind of more prominent than it used to be. I think it was like painted or washed or something. But like we were always told like that's where the devil lives. Yeah. Like don't try and get in there, don't try and like fuck with that. Like the devil lives in there. But like as a kid I was like, he sure does. You're
just
right.
Accepted it. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But I love that. Like I love that that's like still a part of Irish tradition. You know, I feel like the Irish are very like very Irish about being Irish. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like the Irish are like kind of at all ashamed of their culture in any kind of way.
True.
Because I also feel like we kind of had to like do that extra bit of pushback. Yeah. You know, it's like, well, if you're going to try and literally murder us and stomp us out, we're going to have to go extra hard and make sure this shit like stays fresh and stays relevant, you know? Which is why we get taught about Samhain and stuff in school. We didn't have to look this up. Yeah. Like we were told all of these origins
culture.
And stuff.
We know our history, It's
true. Real.
So I suppose the moral of the story is stop appropriating our culture.
Or just read literally the first
blurb
like,
on
2
Google.
paragraphs on like Wikipedia or something. Yeah. You know? Because like I as a kid would have loved to have learned about more cultures, and we did. You know, it's like why we know about like Cinco de Mayo and fucking
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah. True.
Oh, you Americans have it bad. I do feel genuinely bad where it's like sometimes. School is supposed to teach you shit. You're supposed to learn things, you know. But like, I don't know. It's just Americans teaching Americans, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for the potato, but teach your kids how to read, bro. Oh, who did we get the potato off though? Who brought that over here?
Your man Walter Raleigh.
Ah, your man. That,
himself.
That's not your man with the bell.
No,
that's
He's the pirate that fucked Queen Elizabeth II. All the way up. He sails his ship.
That's the lady that's alive now.
The first.
Her mom.
Queen Elizabeth. No, because Victoria was her great grandmother.
The Queen Mother.
No, the next one. She was also called Elizabeth.
You see, we're talking about Irish culture. I don't give a fuck about English culture. We were not talking about that shit at all.
Well, to be fair, English culture also does have some really interesting Halloween traditions as well.
Like taking people's land?
No, it's like the
that was more of an Easter thing, wasn't
it? Stop! You better stop.
Happy Easter, yeah.
No, the black cat tradition, that's an English tradition. The bobbing for apples is also an English tradition, which came from torture.
Which is fucking gross. I never participated in that shit. You want to know why? Because you look in there and the bucket is full of chunks of apple and spit. And spit. You want me to... Also, my mom just spent the last like hour and a half painting this sick Dracula face on me. You think I'm gonna dunk my fucking head in water?
Yeah.
Oh, but that old school face paint that it was not like, it wasn't like makeup,
and
it was like colored
funny.
wax.
Yeah.
You know, you had to like grind it in. But again, I was never a black bag costume kid though.
I was.
My mom was always a very like, we gotta make it somehow.
Oh my god, I am going to stick up on the pod an image or a photograph or two of me as a kid.
God, it's
with
you
a
as like
black
a
bag.
vampire or witch or robot or alien or Missy Elliott in that one video, you know,
as in a black bag.
Yeah, like the black bag could be like magician's cape / witch's dress / Dracula's fucking bat wings or whatever the fuck it
I
is.
loved it. It's so typically Irish. I loved it. It's great.
That's actually the rules for the Halloween party we're going to next week. If you don't show up with a costume on, they're going to give you a black bag.
Yeah.
You're going to insert random horror movie character here.
Yeah.
You know,
It's great crack.
you're the witch from The Witch. You know, I'm the Blair Witch. I love that we just have that episode in the can.
Oh yeah.
We recorded a Blair Witch episode last year at some point and we were like, we can't release this because it's so all over the place.
Maybe we'll do it for fun someday.
I almost would
As
love to re-record it
as
or
a
something.
tidbit. Yeah.
Because I really do love that movie, but like, damn, that episode.
It's messy.
Also, I think we recorded it twice. Did we like record the first like half hour of it and just like not record it or some shit like that?
I don't know.
Something went down that just made us decide not to release that fucking episode. And both like agree on it. It was like okay, let's bury it.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
Bury it.
We throw the audio file into a hole and just like just kick dirt onto it.
Push it out of the way.
Oh god.
Yeah, so we have some announcements, some news developments, some stories, some excellent shit coming up.
Shall we save the like big exciting one for last?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So next month, moving out of October, we're moving into Cosmic Horror Month.
Woo! Cosmic horror is something I am so fucking excited to talk about because it is like
it's very much so your month.
It is very much my month. It is my MO. It is the biggest fuck off end of the world scenario that you can think of, but you can't comprehend it because it is so gory, so tentacly, too many eyes, too many teeth, a lot of drooling. Doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to, because if you try to make sense of it, you'll go crazy. You know, Cthulhu showing up will literally stand there with 2 cigarettes and just be like, bitch,
where the fuck have you been?
Where have you? While everyone else is losing their shit and going crazy at the sight of this thing, we're standing there staring up at this 15 million foot tall monster and just be like, you're fucking late. Where's your costume?
Excuse me, lady, you're meant to be on the bloody till. But
you needed to clock in 20 minutes ago.
But if you want real cosmic horror, look up what H.P. Lovecraft's cat was called.
Yeah, so like when we say cosmic horror, we mean the theme. We don't particularly mean the racist, xenophobic piece of shit.
Now, cosmic horror is once again, it's kind of undefinable in a way. It's like I think we literally said it in this episode where it's like, I don't know exactly what it is, but I know what it is when I see it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, do you want to rock, paper, scissors for an episode? Do you have one in mind? Because I already have mine.
Oh,
for
what's
first
yours?
episode.
What's yours? Yeah, so the first episode is going to be
Reanimated. Yeah, I just think it's
and it's literally a H.P. Lovecraft novel.
I think we should start off small and then work our way up to.
We're gonna get so fucked up watching that movie.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I really, really love that movie though. It's a lot of fun.
It's gonna be great crack.
Yeah, so Cosmic Horror next month, and
well, the reason why we're doing Cosmic Horror next month is because it's November, and in my opinion, November is the darkest month out of everything.
It's Space Month.
Well, not just that, but it's darkest, it's depressing, and we might as well do something exciting for it.
Be very contemplative.
And you can contemplate cosmic horror all you want, but try not to go crazy while doing it. So the other piece of big news that we have is
very exciting.
Very, very exciting. A few people have requested it, and honestly, we are so... Drumroll, please.
I was going to do it on my leg, and I was like, that wouldn't sound like a drum roll.
We are moving to Spotify.
Woo! Yeah, now you guys don't have to fucking awkwardly keep the YouTube app open in your pocket.
Yeah. And honestly, for those of you, we do want to say this because, I mean, it is our anniversary. You know, we are moving to a bigger platform and things like that, and we do want to, like, let you guys know, those of you who have been listening since the beginning,
jump, genuinely don't think that we like don't know who you are. We see you guys liking our content every week.
Yeah,
we always know that at least one of those views is you guys. You know,
we appreciate it. We really do, and keep listening, because honestly, like, the fact that you just had the video turned on and you had it, even if you were like on the bus going somewhere, or you were doing the dinner, or you were working on a shift or some bullshit, it doesn't matter. Like, we are so grateful that you did do it, and we really appreciate it. There's nothing better than, like, finding out that people, like, say that their day is made by just listening to the episode, and that is so validating.
It is. It just makes you feel like even if we got like 100 episodes or 100
you
views,
saved our lives. We are eternally grateful.
You like me. You really like me. But for real, it's like just the idea that like you guys can think like, oh, I'm gonna watch an episode of Theyre Here. It just makes me feel like, okay, this horror shit might actually like pay off.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm glad that we decided like, fuck it. Let's actually just do it. Mm-hmm. Like, we're doing it anyway, just for ourselves. So and we will keep sticking them up still on YouTube, of course, as well, just in case. We may actually do some interesting new content as well coming down the line. Okay, so do we want to just like, because I feel like if we say it out loud, we have to hold ourselves to it.
Okay, go.
Okay, so
go.
So on All Hallows Eve, Halloween Eve, the 30th of October, we are going to do a small little drunk kind of Q&A, quote unquote drunk
live stream
Q&A on Instagram, and we're gonna have you guys kind of
ask questions.
We're gonna probably get you guys to do them beforehand, just because, like, I don't know, it's gonna be easier that way rather than having to like wait for a bunch of shit to come through. But yeah, so like, get asking.
Yeah.
And please don't have us make this announcement and have no questions come through. That will be mortified. But
I'll literally just walk away from the live feed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just going to be that. It's going to be us out in Gemma's shed, because it's the only place we can smoke that has a roof over it. And
it's remotely warm.
Yeah. Oh, and you guys will probably get to see costumes too.
Yeah, we are doing some fun ideas. It's going to be interesting. And yeah.
Small hint, be not afraid. Bitch.
But
you're going to be fucking pregnant, bitch. No, small hint for any like theologians out there. Azazel, get in the fire. I don't want you doing this shit anymore. You and your armies are cancelled.
But are we heroes though? Do we know if there's life on Mars? Yeah.
Bitch, just say.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you honestly for listening and everything. We're so happy
and all that.
So yeah.
Yeah, bitch.
That's your only closing line.
Bitch is just my way to like, it's my like out loud full stop.
So you've been listening to the SLAB.
We actually had a moment the other night because we all did. We were at a party and the time warp came out or whatever like that. We kind of had a moment where it was like, this is our intro.
It's it. That's it.
That was actually a lot of fun. Like, sorry, like I know, like we're literally to sign up, but we got to like dance for like an hour and a half and just dance and just have a good fucking time. God, I'm so happy the world is like opening back up.
Yeah.
You know,
it's fun.
Halloween's gonna be a good night.
Good times. So, you've been listening to the SLAB. And well, Theyre Here podcast, of course. And we probe and postulate and prod a topic. And this topic we went selfishly inwards. And I don't know where this accent is going. So yeah, make sure to like, subscribe and comment below what you think. Let us know. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Of course, there's some daily updated content.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Bitch.
Big things on Le Horizon.
Le Horizon. We are not 100% sure. We cannot confirm a date for Spotify just yet, but we are moving our platform there.
It's the goal.
Yes.
We'll be there by the end of the year.
And we'll be here until then. See what I did there?
So yeah, I don't actually remember if I have a sign-off thing for the SLAB.
I see you shiver.
Please subscribe.
Subscribe and shit. Ooh, and stuff. Boo! Halloween.
Like, whatever. I don't know, like stuff and junk.
Stuff and junk. Oh, I just realized that this episode will come out the day of Halloween.
Oh yeah, Halloween's on Sunday. Okay, cool.
Why did we not suddenly... Wow, now we look like idiots.
So this should just be like Theyre Here origins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
beginning.
Crazy. The beginning.
Oh, that's a Texas Chainsaw movie I really did like.
Pretentious.
It was
title.
boring. It was just boring. And that's the number one movie rule. Or that's the number one movie sin is don't bore me.
Alright guys, that's it for today.
Bye, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Ia Hana, Boring Brack, all of that good stuff.
Oh, I love piece of brack.
Boo!